Hi, my name is Jeremy Kinney. Today I'm going to show you the inside of my kitchen. I'm going to show you my cupboards and even my refrigerator. The reason why I'm going to do that is because a lot of times when people come over, they see the inside of my cupboards and they're blown away. I've had some of my friends taking pictures and then sending it to their girlfriends, showing them photos and stuff like that. Also, people might want to ask what kind of supplements they should use, and sometimes people ask me, well, what kind of supplements do you use? So you're going to be able to get an inside look, and you can see that I not only talk the talk, but I walk the walk. We go through a lot of different supplements. I'm going to explain them to you and show you how we do them, why, things like that. So this is my supplement cabinet. This is my go-to cabinet. I come in here several times a day, and I just open it up and go like this. I just open it up and look at it. And a lot of times I don't even have anything in mind of what I'm going for, but I'll open it up, and because everything's right there, I'll just look and I'll see what I need to take at that time. Some of the stuff I take about every day, some of the stuff I take, once in a blue moon. It just all depends. They're all different. So, this is basically just a multivitamin, and I've had some sinus issues, so I've got the Dragon Herbs Magnolia Sinus. Obviously, I only use this if I'm having some sinus problems, as well as this. This is homeopathic. These are just some liver cleanse pills. We don't get them all the time or take them all the time, but they, as it says on here, supports phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification. So what I do is I'll hop into, let's say, the bath and take a hydrogen peroxide bath, which is very cleansing, and to help my body eliminate the toxins that are being stirred up, and to help assist the body in eliminating the toxins, I'll take this, because the phase 2 will actually help get the toxins out of the body. So this is just aged garlic extract, which is similar to this, but these are capsules. Just a little bit of a different formula. Like this has astragalus, so that's why it says immune. They're both garlic. They're both garlic extracts, but which is good for the immune system. But this also has some astragalus, some medicinal mushrooms, whereas this does not. But the main reason why I got this is because can't really get my daughter to eat pills. They're too big, so I can squeeze some of this liquid into something. Like if she's starting to look like she's coming down with a cold or something like that, then I'll squeeze a little bit of this stuff in some juice. Another benefit of the liquid is it doesn't have all the excipients. Like if you look on the back, you've got magnesium stearate, the capsules are gelatin. Plus liquid usually works a little bit better anyway, so we have both. Whatever you choose is your own thing. This is another same thing, but it has vitamin D3 in there. The way I do vitamin D3, this is also another D3 supplement. Basically, what you get from the sun. I get out there every day that I can, every day that sun's shiny, and I make it a point to get my sunlight. Very important for health, but sometimes I don't. And on the days that I don't get out there, if it's raining, cloudy, I'm just too busy, it's wintertime, then I make sure I take a supplement. This is B12. There are a lot of different theories about B12, a lot of different kinds. I used to take what it recommended, but Hal Huggins said something about like if you take too much, it's bad. So we just take one drop, like the smallest amount, and it makes it to where it's affordable. Before it was like, it costs this much, but when you're taking almost nothing, it's almost free to have your B12. So, whatever you think, this is just CoQ10, marine phytoplankton. This is one of the superfoods listed in David Wolf's superfood book. It's actually a good kind of marine phytoplankton. It's been around for a while. It's really strong. I mostly just got this for my daughter for EPA. I'll put a little bit in her E3 Live mix, so she'll get the DHA. from the E3 Live, which is another blue-green algae, and this is just basically a phytoplankton from the ocean. And that way she's getting both of the main long-chain omega-3s that are hard to get in the diet, especially for vegetarians. So turmeric is very anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory. You know, we use the spice too, and the spice is great, but it's nice to have this as a supplement, just in a different form. Digest Gold, this is just a really good brand of digestive enzymes, Enzymedica. They, you know, digestive enzymes are really good. They should be taken with each meal, especially cooked meals, but they're also good to be taken in between meals. So I really like digestive enzymes. It's probably the most common thing that I take right now, you know, depending, you know, I mean, just because we eat several times. And yeah. So we've got the 22 rishis. You can see this hasn't even been opened yet, but there's 22 different kinds of reishi mushroom, which is a medicinal mushroom. This is also from Ron Tea Gardens, Dragon Herbs. This is just a fulvic acid, high in minerals, breaks down bad calcium. Ionic copper. We got this because I started getting a few gray hairs, so I'm going to try to tackle that gray hair issue that I'm sure some of you out there are dealing with or will deal with or have dealt with for the past couple of decades, who knows. But, you know, hopefully I'll get some good results between that and a bunch of other things that I plan on doing. And I'll keep you posted, updated with that. But, you know, we've got other things back here too, like Hushu. This is a Fit Extract, ET. It's a new revolutionary way of extracting herbs. It doesn't involve heating, so it's kind of like a raw herb. And the, you know, there's just so many cool things about it that makes this technology so cool. Like the place where it's manufactured at, it produces no waste. You know, so they're just on the cutting edge in a lot of different aspects. But it is just a cool thing, and it tastes good. Good drink. Instead of buying, you know, whatever people are buying, even organic juice from the store, that's no good. Juice is bad because it, you know, sends a blood sugar spike because there's no fiber there to buffer the juice, and then, you know, and sometimes it's in plastic, which makes it even worse. You know, pasteurized, the list goes on. But, you know, you just get some of this, you pour it in some water, you make your own drink. It's much healthier. So, this is just a homeopathic formula that a friend made for me. And nascent iodine, I mean, some people say that almost everyone is deficient in iodine. And that's because the RDA, the recommended daily allowance, is so low. One of the leading people when it comes to iodine is Dr. Brownstein, and he actually recommends about 100 times the amount of the RDA. I can't remember if that's all the time or for therapeutic doses, but you know, there's different ways that he breaks it down for how much you should take, but either way it goes, it's a lot more than what we're told to take. And of course, they took it out of the salt and stuff like that. Another good source naturally, by the way, is sea vegetables. Kelp being the best by far as iodine goes, and sea vegetables in general. But, you know, bowel cleanse, this is phase 2 of bowel cleanse. You've already taken the bowel cleanse 1. This is just the bowel cleanse 2. Very important to keep clean. Trace minerals. We put these in our kombucha. The fermentation process makes the minerals more bioavailable, which is basically higher quality and, you know, just a better uptake into your system. So it turns these into a higher quality mineral that the body is easier. It's easier on the body to uptake. So we just squirt some of that into our batch of kombucha, and, you know, just a little way of upgrading it. These are LBP 40s, and what this is the unique polysaccharide that's found in goji berries is concentrated and extracted and put into these pills. Now, you know, goji berries have a little bit of sugar in them, so this is a way for you to get the magic of goji berries without the sugar. Another good thing about them is they taste really good, actually. If you even just take the capsule, you dump it out into your mouth, it tastes pretty good. We actually can give it to our daughter, and she'll eat 5 in a row. 5 goji berry capsules. So that's a lot of medicine right there, and to her it's like candy. So that's another good thing too. If everything tastes terrible, you're not going to take it, and it doesn't do you any good if you don't take it. So if you can get a 3-year-old to take it, then that's a benefit. You got to factor that in too, is when you factor in what is good and what isn't. If something tastes good, then it's a better herb in a way, because you're going to be more likely to take it. So it will do better for you. This is just an adrenal formula, adrenal supplement, MSM capsules. I mean, there's different ways where you can take MSM. The thing about MSM is it needs to be taken in large doses. Like when you read these bottles, pretty much everything in here, you'll get something like 3 capsules daily, but 3 capsules isn't going to do anything. They all have very low doses. That's just a maintenance dose. But if you want to get results, like with MSM, you need to be taking 10 of these twice a day. So 20 capsules a day. MSM is really unique. It stands for methyl sulfonyl methane. Don't worry about that. You don't need to know it, but it's really good for your hair, skin, nails, liver detoxification. It helps detox bad estrogens, break down bad calcium. So it's really good, but it also works synergistically with other things. It helps deliver the nutrients into the body better. So it's good to take when you're taking like maybe before a smoothie or something that's packed full of superfood powders, which we're going to get to in a second. But also, one of the things that's really interesting about MSM is that it has a very synergistic effect with vitamin C, much more so than even other things. Maybe up to 9 times the strength of vitamin C when you're using it in conjunction with MSM. So that's something to keep in mind. So like what we'll do is make a vitamin C drink, or if we're made some fresh squeezed orange juice or something like that, I'll always add some MSM to the drink or take some capsules with it, so that way we're getting it in. This is MMS, which is often confused with MSM, and stands for Miracle Mineral Supplement. I believe they changed the name on it. They've been getting attacked a lot by the FDA because, well, that's another story. But it's a lot of controversy behind it. I've used it, and it does kind of taste like bleach, but they use it at the HIT Center down in Tijuana with William Hitt. They've been very successful, so I believe that the people that I really look up to and trust as far as curing the incurable diseases give it the thumbs up. So I went ahead and bought some. It lasts for years. It's only like $20 or something like that for a good dose. So to me it's insurance in case some stuff ever happens and nothing that I have is working. Even if I don't use this now, if I ever find myself in a situation where there's an outbreak or something crazy, that's one more tool in my arsenal just in case. So niacin, I'll do this in conjunction with rebounding. Before massage, what niacin will do is give you a flush and will help detoxify and drive in nutrients, and it's going to dilate you. So there's actually a protocol where you take niacin, you rebound, and then you hop in the infrared sauna, and then you take some charcoal tablets, and it's a really good detox protocol. I don't have a far infrared sauna yet, so I'm missing that part of it, but I still do it, the niacin, rebound, niacin massage, things like that. DMSO, it's another thing just to keep, just in case. I don't really use it often. You have to know what you're doing with DMSO. You need to read about it and research it. It's another one of those things that's very controversial. You're going to find mixed information on the internet about it because they don't want people using that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's an incredible product, incredible story. So look it up. It's cheap, and things like this and the DMSO and the MMS may not be available one day. We may not have the option of being able to buy them. So get them now. And then last is Crystal Energy. This is a product by Dr. Flanagan. David Wolfe considers him to be the most brilliant scientist alive on Earth, and almost no one knows who he is. That's another story. But basically structures your water. It gives it living properties and just really improves the water quality, includes the hydration. So yeah, I mean, you know, we've got some more stuff, but as you can see, that's pretty much the gist of it. You know, we have different things, but you know, let's go ahead and move on to the other cabinets now. And this is basically like my overstock, whatever kind of cabinet, and boom. So, you know, it's pretty messy in here, but who cares? We don't really get stuff from back there. That's mostly like the overstock that we can't, the stuff that we can't reach. But I do have a few things that are accessible. One being the Sun Warrior. As you see, I'm a fan of Sun Warrior. I particularly like the original vanilla flavor. And people ask, you know, where do you get your protein? Well, I get a lot of it from Sun Warrior, but you know, there's a lot of other good sources of protein too. You know, overstock of pine pollen. We've got more in the cupboard that we're going to go to next. This is another Sun Warrior product, the Ormus Super Greens. They were grown in volcanic soil. So the volcanic soil is very rich in Ormus minerals. Ormus minerals are very interesting. I'll be doing a video on that sometime in the future, but you can just look it up. ORMUS. Big topic. Very little people know about it. Very few people know about it. So I think if you're interested in this kind of stuff, definitely well worth looking into. Lysine, antiviral. And then I've got some lollipops, but not for me. This is for my daughter. You know what I mean? We don't really proudly give them to her, but we don't want to deprive our daughter from it either. And I'd rather give her these than have to give her Hershey's or something like that at the birthday party. So we'll keep these around. And if we find ourselves in a situation where, you know, other kids are eating bad stuff, instead of telling her, no, you can't have that, and that's it, might use this as a, hey, you know, you can't have that, but you can have a lollipop instead. So that way she doesn't have to be the only kid that grows up without candy, because we all know that was a big part of being a kid. So, you know, we do it in moderation, and you know, it's like a fine, delicate balance between you know, not depriving yourself and your loved ones, but not eating stuff that's gonna be terrible for you. Xylitol, a completely non-glycemic sweetener. It's all about keeping your sugar intake as low as possible. And then dried hibiscus flower from Earthshift. We've got another video on that, but that basically makes hibiscus tea, which is high in vitamin C, and it tastes delicious. We make it almost every day. All right, and then come over here. And over here behind me is where we make our smoothies. So when you open up the cabinets, this is basically like the smoothie cabinet. Also the chocolate drink cabinet. When we make chocolate drinks, then, you know, most of the stuff is right here and it's all kept together, so it's easy. So we'll just bust out one bag at a time, pour it into a blender, blend it all up, mix it, and you've got a drink. So these are like your superfood powders. They're a lot of bang for your buck. A little bit of food with a lot of nutrition. And you know, you need that because it isn't in the food. Even the organic produce, you know, it isn't high in nutrients, whereas you know, you eat this so that way you can make up for the lack of it in the diet. I mean, so, you know, we've got vitamin E, we've got some ghee, honey, you know, other local honey. I mean, just a bunch of stuff. You know, you can see out front we've got a lot of David Wolfe products. Sometimes we have very little David Wolfe products. Sometimes we have a lot. It just depends. We go through it pretty fast. and it's always changing. So it just depends on what we have at the time. See, we've got Lucuma, really good for just making the drinks taste good. You know, it's kind of sweet, but without being a huge load of sugar. This is the MCT oil, the stuff with the bulletproof coffee. You mix it in with your coffee. Worth looking into bulletproof coffee and hearing the story of how that all came about. Really interesting, especially if you're a coffee drinker. I just started drinking. Excuse me. I just started drinking coffee this year, so. And you know, I'm not gonna go through everything and what everything is, but basically, you know, we've got a bunch of different powders in here, and they're all just different foods that have just been made into a powder form. You know, a lot of times you get vitamins from the store. They're synthetic vitamins. They're not derived from food. This is just basically like vitamins, but instead of being in little pills, it's, you know, in bags. And instead of being synthetic, it's actually just food turned into a powder. So I mentioned a minute ago making a vitamin C drink. I really like this vitamin C because it tastes good. Like I said before, it's got to taste good. You can just mix this with water and stir it up. You want to add a little bit of stevia, you can, but it's really good. Good enough to drink on its own, and a lot of them aren't. And then, you know, we might mix a little bit of MSM with it or take some capsules, but I really like this brand in particular of vitamin C. This is a really good sweetener, really good tasting sweetener. It may not be the healthiest thing, but it's low glycemic, so it's at least better. But the main thing about it is its taste. This stuff is delicious. What I'll do sometimes is after making a chocolate drink, I'll pour some in there and swirl it, and then that way it's not mixed in with the drink, and then you'll be sucking it through a straw, and then you get some of this like pure syrup in with your drink, and it's heaven. Then we've got some prebiotics, which are like sweeteners, but they don't feed the bad guys. They only feed the good bacteria. So I try to throw in a little bit of prebiotics in there too. Yacon being the best one. Yacon syrup is from Andean root and sun root sweetener. So the last thing that we have is a top shelf, and this is where we keep our herbs. I mean, we have other herbs in that, but this is just where we keep some of them for easy reach. The only one I'm going to point out at this time is the Spring Dragon Longevity Tea from Dragon Herbs. Also has a really good story behind it. I recommend looking it up and reading about it. It's a really good tasting tea. It's a really good tea, and it's convenient because it's in a tea bag. So that's really nice. Let's go over and check out the refrigerator for a quick second, okay? So here's inside my fridge. I'm actually bringing you into my own personal life here. So, you know, we've just got random things. You know, this is a SCOBY from kombucha that we've put in a bottle to give to someone. It's a nice gift. They can start a whole batch of kombucha and basically make kombucha constantly after that, starting with this one SCOBY. You know, we've got the normal organic jam, you know, for my daughter or whatever. You see we've got some eggs, so we are not vegan, for the record. And, you know, this is the goat's milk for the cat that we just got, little kitten, but I imagine we can still drink it too. I don't know. But I know goat's milk is a lot better for you than regular cow's milk. So I'd imagine we could. This is just hemp milk that we made for ourselves. We used to buy a lot of the bottled stuff that you in the cartons that you get from the store, the coconut milk and stuff like that, but I think it was making my stomach inflamed. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, and my stomach was just starting to get swollen. And I heard that the carrageenan in there can do that, and we stopped, and it's not swollen anymore. So, you know, it's funny, is doing everything right, but I had a swollen stomach. So, little things, you know, you just never know. One ingredient can be causing a lot of disturbances, and there's so many different ingredients in all the different foods that we eat. You know, it's hard to single it out, but by eliminating certain foods, you can figure it out. But, you know, I mean, I'm not going to show you everything, but we've got the Organo Living Silica. Silica is a really awesome mineral. It doesn't taste bad. It tastes just like water. And here we go. Even going to show you the beer. Now, this may seem weird to show you after showing you all of the supplements that we have. You know, why does he have beer in his fridge? Well, this is the last of a batch that I brewed. Actually brewed my own beer. I'm sure the Bud Light and stuff like that that people are drinking is made with fluoridated water. So you can control the water that goes into the beer. You can also control, like, no GMO sugar and stuff like that. So you can produce higher quality beer, but ultimately I want to create a healthy beer for everyone. And so I'm actually just learning the brewing process so that way I can eventually get to making healthy herbal beers, and that's a whole other conversation for the future. But beer isn't the best, but in moderation, it's not terrible. You gotta pick your own poisons. If you delete 99 out of your 100 poisons that you used to eat, then you're doing pretty good. And I still drink beer here and there. It's just mostly brewing beer for the hobby of it, and also to have a healthy beer. And I had to brew beer to get healthy beer for the rest of the world. More on that later, but I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit more in the fridge. So I pulled the beer out just to show you a little bit better. I've got the kombucha. We keep it constantly going. And then hydrogen peroxide, we'll keep a gallon in the fridge, and then the rest of it in a closet because we don't have room for all of it in the fridge, but it does prolong the shelf life, to keep it in the fridge. Then I've got the hibiscus tea, and then, the fruits and vegetables, celery, coconuts, lemons, everything right there. So I hope you like this video. Subscribe to our channel, like the video, please share it on your social media. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, and stay tuned. Welcome to the Awareness Revolution.